So, very good morning. Uh, Today we will discuss one metal forming process, that is rolling. So, in the previous class, we have talked different type of forming processes like rolling, welding, bending, extrusion, wire drawing, deep drawing. Okay, so all these processes are metal forming processes, and these are actually manufacturing processes. Today we will discuss on rolling process, different type of rolling process, and actually this classification has been made according to the engagement of rollers. Means how much rollers are engaged to deform or to thin the sheet metal. Okay, so the classification of metal formation process has been classified according to how many rollers are involved to deform the material. Okay. So, I think the terminology rolling, you understand, all of you understand the rolling, the terminology. That is nothing but deforming the material by rotation of rotational motion of two or more rollers. Okay, and they just passing the thin, thick sheet or bark material in between uh, two rotated head rollers or more than two rotated rollers, and what happens and the thickness of the material will reduce. Okay, so rolling is a metal forming process in which the thickness of work is reduced by compressive force. Here, the force is generated on the workpiece is nothing but a compressive force. Why force is compressive type? Because suppose here the applied force on this workpiece is nothing but a this force the roller will apply it the upper roller will apply the force on the object like this force, and the lower roller will apply the force like this. So a compressive force will generate on the workpiece or slab. So the material, thick material can get thin by applying of compressive force, and this compressive force is applied by the rotation of two or more rollers. So flat rolling is shown in this figure actually. This is actually flat rolling, simple rolling. And similarly, shape rolling is also possible, like a square cross section is formed into shape such as I-beam or L-beam, or like the path, the railway path. So this type of cross section can also be rolled, can also be found by this rolling process. Okay, so some important terminology on is slab and billet. Slab, it is rolled roll form and ingot or bloom, and has a rectangular cross section of dimension maybe 250 width, and more thickness maybe 40 or more. Okay, so that type of material are called slab. And billet, the billet it is rolled form of bloom, and there is a square in cross section with a dimension of 40 mm. Okay, or a side 40 or more. So, so just see here, bloom is this bloom means and means the material, the raw material is in box size. Okay, means width and the height and the thickness of the material is more. Then the type of material called the bloom. Billet is just like a sheet metal hull of thickness is just not a thick material. And from and this is actually slab and billet is like this. Okay, so these are actually raw material in different forms. So, okay, these are the raw materials in different forms: bloom, slab, and billet. So from the bloom material, you can get this type of product by rolling operation. Eye section type means eye cross section type. Air cross, yeah, the cross section type is nothing but a eye type cross section. So this type of product can be made by the rolling process. Even this type of shape of the product can also be made by rolling process, and this is actually nothing but a this is actually a railway path, and from this slab you can get this sheet type of metal, or coil, and this sheet type of metal can also be rolled in a coil. This is a billet type of metal. So from this billet type of metals, after rolling operation, you can get a rod type of product. Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
ओके 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 समीर एक मिनट में मेरा फोन आया है. हाँ,
Okay, sir.
हम्म. अ, अ, ঠিক আছে আমি বলে দেবো হ্যাঁ.
Okay, sir.
মানে ইঞ্জেকশনের ডেটা আজ নেই নাকি? বলি ইঞ্জেকশনের ডেটা আজ নেই নাকি? আজ হবে? আচ্ছা, আজ হবে না তাই তো? ওকে ওকে, ঠিক আছে আমি বলে দেবো. হুম 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 হুম. ওকে, সরি ফর দ্য ডিস্টারবেন্স. Uh, so after rolling, different these different type of yes. Are you audible? आवाज आ रही
कुछ
है ना
नहीं सर.
मेरा? Yes.
कुछ कुछ नहीं सर, ऐसे ही.
ओके ओके, ठीक है. Okay. So so this rolling operation can be performed at high temperature and even at room temperature. So high temperature means more than the pre-crystallization temperature that I have told in the previous class. That temperature range is between zero point 0.5 melting temperature to 0.75 melting temperature. So when the rolling operation are performed in between zero point 0.5 to 0.75 of melting temperature, these are called the hot rolling process. And when rolling process are performed at room temperature, called the cold rolling process. So hot rolling process just uh, these rolling process are performed at recrystallization temperature, means above the recrystallization temperature, that is above zero point 0.5 of melting point of the material. Okay, so and the advantages of this hot rolling process are in this case what happened, the if the material are in above the recrystallization temperature, so the flowability of the material is better, means with a lower force the material can stress because of easy movement of dislocations. So flow stress required flow means required stress to deform a material, or flow stress are low. Actually, flow stress means required stress or load divided by area to deform the material. That are called the flow stress sometimes, means throughout the deformation. Throughout the deformation, the stress required. So this stress may be sometimes more, sometimes less. Okay. Suppose in case of tensile deformation, uh, suppose in case of tensile deformation, so tensile stress strain graph. कौन करेছে? Mother. So, like suppose in case of tensile stress strain curve, so what happened? The stress is required to elongate the material more and more. More and more stress is required to elongate the material, and then it will again fall down. And means after necking, the less stress is required. So these stress actually stress required from initial to up to the ultimate tensile strength is called the flow stress. Means deformation throughout the deformation. Stress required throughout the deformation is called the flow stress. Not a single means not ultimate tensile stress or uh, yield strength. Okay. And so flow stress is all the stress values, in the curve are all the flow stress. Okay. So yield strength and ultimate tensile strength also a flow stress. So these flow stress will require less flow stress is required in case of hot rolling process. Okay. And in this case, a very large amount of ORPs can be deformed. Okay, means bark material can be deformed by the hot rolling process because
Sir,
yes, yes.
sir, flow stress. Could you explain flow stress once again?
Okay, flow stress. Suppose in case of tensile stress strain curve, so means in case of tensile deformation, so what will happen? This is the as you elongate the material, then more and more stress will required. Okay, so this is the required stress. Okay, and after necking, the stress will decrease. Okay, so along this direction is nothing but a strain. So more and more straining the material, more and more stress is required, isn't? So means you suppose is straining up to this amount of strain, then this amount of stress is required. This amount of strain straining the material, then this amount of stress is required. And you are straining this amount of strain, then this amount of stress is required. To strain this amount of stress is required. So all these stresses are called flow stress. Means throughout the deformation, up to what amount of straining the material. And suppose 1%, 2% straining, 3% straining, 4% straining, 5% straining, up to fracture of the material. Okay, so all the stresses value in the curve are called the flow stress. Okay, and in the tensile stress strain curve there is two stresses that we means mainly we have calculated. One is yield stress, that is 0.2% offset stress. Okay, 0.2% offset stress, yield stress, YS, and another is ultimate tensile stress. These two stresses actually mainly calculated from the tensile stress strain curve. So yield stress and ultimate tensile stresses also are flow stress. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, understand. Flow stress means all the stresses in the tensile stress strain curve. That means the stresses required to deform the material means throughout the to deform the material throughout. Okay, मटेरियल डिफॉर्म करने के लिए जितना स्ट्रेस लग रहा है और लोड डिवाइडेड बाय एरिया, इतना स्ट्रेस, तो जितना लोड लग रहा है थ्रू आउट द डिफॉर्मेशन मींस फ्रॉम इनिशियल टू अप टू फ्रैक्चर, all these stresses value are called flow stress.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this flow stress, required flow stress is less in case of hot rolling process because the material, the ability of a material to deform means easily the material get deformed because the movement of dislocation get easier in case of hot rolling process. How the movement of dislocation get easier? Because at a high temperature, or I mean say above the recrystallization temperature, what happens? Dislocation from one plane to another plane can can jump, that is called actually climb of dislocation or cross slip of dislocation. So at high temperature, cross slip and climb easily occur. Okay, actually at room temperature or at cold temperature, climb and cross slip does not occur. So what happens? The dislocation get blocked and material get hardened. Or to deform the material, more and more stress is required. Okay, but at high temperature, what happens? Climb or cross slip occurs, means dislocation in one plane can move to the other plane. Okay, or you can say that dislocation can easily pass from one grain to another grain. Okay, actually grain में क्या होता है? Suppose this is a structure of a grain structure. So suppose this is the grain structure of material. Okay, so in this grain, all the atoms are arranged like this way. Okay, so in this case, the dislocation, suppose edge dislocation is, this is the edge dislocation formed. But in this grain, all the atoms are arranged like this, means different orientation. Actually, grain to grain orientation differ due to rapid solidification. Okay, grain to grain orientation differ. So in this case, the dislocation will be like this. Okay, so So this dislocation cannot pass this grain boundary because here the orientation is not same. In this case, the orientation is like this. But in this grain, the orientation like this. And in this grain, the orientation may be suppose this type. Okay, so in this grain also the orientation is different. Okay, like this. So in this case also the orientation of the dislocation like this. So this dislocation cannot pass from this grain boundary. All the dislocation will come to the grain boundary. Okay, and as you deform the material, all the dislocation will come to the grain boundary, and the dislocation will pile up. Means similar sign dislocations will pile up. Okay, and material get hardened. But if the deformation takes place at a high temperature, means more the crystallization temperature, then this dislocation can jump from this plane to this plane. This jumping is called the climb or climb in case of edge dislocation. Jumping of dislocation from one plane to one plane is called climb, and in case of screw dislocation, the jump from one plane to another plane is called the cross slip. So at high temperature, this is possible. So that's why at high temperature, the deformability of material gets easier. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay. So so ductility is higher, hence the large deformation can be taken place even at a high temperature, means more than the crystallization temperature. The material can be deformed up to 99%. Means even area reduction can be done up to 99%. Okay. So these are the advantages. Means less amount of flow stress is required. Large pore size can be deformed. Ductility means the material can be deformed up to large means large degree. Degree of deformation is possible. Complex part shape can be generated. Okay, by hot rolling process, the complex shape part can be generated or can be rolled. In cold rolling process, means this rolling process performed below the recrystallization temperature, mainly 100 to 200 degrees centigrade. Okay. Sometimes the rolling process done at 100 degree to 200 degrees centigrade are also. But remember that the cold rolling process are performed below the recrystallization temperature and mainly at room temperature. Okay. Advantages in the absence of cooling and oxidation, tighter tolerance and a better surface finishes can be obtained because due to the rolling operations are carried out at room temperature, so there is no chances of shrinkage. Okay, so better tolerance means better tolerance. Even surface finish means in case of hot rolling process, there may be chance of oxidation of the material. So in but in case of cold rolling process, there is no chance of oxidation. Okay. Thinner walls can be possible, means from a thick material to thinner material can be rolled. The final properties of the material can be closely controlled, means actually the final properties. In this case, the properties are not change in a large extent. Okay. and the final properties can be controlled means along the rolling direction the properties will be different from that of the transverse direction of the rolled product. Okay, so even as the material rolled means thin, so what happens, the grain actually elongated. Oh, okay. Sometimes lubrication used to uh, minimize the friction between the rollers and the workpiece. Okay, and sometimes the material get annealed before the rolling. So this annealing is done to reduce the residual stress. Okay, if the material means previously deformed, then the material in the material there may be chances of some residual stress. So to remove this residual stress, annealing process uh, have to be carried out before the rolling process. Okay. Now, different type of arrangements of roll. So, according to the arrangement of rolls, this rolling process are categorized means classified in different types. Like if there is a only two rollers are there, then it is called two high mills or two high rolling mills. So, in this case, only two rollers are there, and uh, so in this case, only two rollers are there, and see this view. This roller will rotate in this direction, and this roller also rotated in the below roller will rotate in this direction. Okay, and the slab or workpiece material will pass from this side, and the thickness will get reduced to. In two high roll means mean in case of reversing, the in this case the rotation of the rollers can be reversed. So in the previous one, the rotation uh,
Anti-clockwise, sir, he says.
yes. So in this case, the rotation is like anti-clockwise. Okay, means just opposite. So the rotation can be reversed. Okay. Uh, this is actually three high roll mills. So means in this case, three rollers are used. Uh, so like this. In between two rollers the material get passed, and again in between two rollers material again passed. So in successive way the thickness of the material can be reduced. Okay, in this is actually four high mills. So in between two means big diameter roller, there is a two small rollers of having a small diameter. Actually, this is done due to this arrangement is provided due to minimize both the friction and the force. Okay, force that act on the workpiece. Okay. So in this case, this roller will rotate, and by rotating this roller also rotate, and ultimately, and in the previous phase, this workpiece material will pass through in between two small rollers. So just remember, this arrangement is made to just minimize both the friction between the workpiece and the rollers, and even to minimize the force required to deform the material. Okay. So just look see the different types of rollers used in industry. Okay, okay. So this yellow color is actually the material, means office or the slab. This is actually this material is passed through the um, through different rollers, these rollers to move actually automatically for giving the automatic feed. Okay, so just look, see this path through these rollers. This arrangement is made to make automatic feed. Okay, and you can adjust the gap between these two rollers according to the thickness for getting the thickness, and passing this slab from these two rollers, and later you can reduce the thickness. Okay. This is a continuous rolling process. So in continuous rolling process, the uh, sheet metals can be the thickness of the sheet metals reduced successively way in a successive way. Means if if you means if the rolling process is this rolling process is in a hot condition, so material does not require to means heated again, and you can pass this heated material through a successive uh, rolling arrangement. Uh, Actually, in one rolling arrangement, you cannot reduce the thickness in a large amount. So in this case, you have to pass your for. So this is called the continuous rolling. This in this case, use a series of rollers mills, and each set is called the stand. Uh, the strip will be moving at a different velocity at each stage in the mill. Means uh, uh, this actually the velocity of the material, and even the rotational speed of the roller have to be calculated according to the design. Okay, and at a different extent, the velocity of the material and the rotational speed of the rollers are different, and these are actually calculated values. This can be calculated. So means after the successive after passing from different extents or different uh, arrangement of rollers, you can get a thin material, and this uh, thin sheet material you can roll to, means you can make a coil in a coil type. The speed of the each set of the roller is synchronized so that the input speed of each stand is equal to the output speed of the proceedings stand. Means in this case, suppose yeah, the output speed of the material will be same to the input speed of the material here. So, the output speed of the material means workpiece or slab or CT at from this stand, output from this stand should be same speed of input to this stand. This velocity will be same v1 at v1 at output of the from this station will be same to the input of this station, because to minimize the buckling of the material into our If the velocity will be less, then there should be chances of buckling, and if the velocity will be more, then there will be a chances of getting getting a strain. So the output velocity of from the preceding station should be same to the input velocity of the next station. Okay, this is the planetary type mill. So in this case, small rollers are arranged. These are different small rollers are arranged just outer periphery of a uh, big roller. So actually, these rollers are the working rollers. These rollers also rotate along its own axis, and to rotate all the rollers, there is a attachment of means all the small rollers are at the heart, just outer periphery of the uh, big roller. So this arrangement also is used to minimize the friction and the load required to deform the material. So consists of a pair of heavy backing rolls surrounded by a large number of planetary rolls. Each planetary rolls give a almost constant reduction to the slab as it sweeps out a circular path between the buckling rolls and the slab. As each pair of planetary rolls causes to have contact with the workpiece, another pair of rolls makes contact and repeat that reduction. So actually, and this arrangement is done because of how to reduce uh, large amount from a single rolling arrangement. And all the small roller arcs will reduce the thickness, and ultimately the summation of the all the small reduction from all the small rollers is the ultimate reduction. Okay, so from one rolling arrangement, material can be reduced in, mm, in a great extent. Okay, another shape can be produced by the rolling operation, not only to simply just thinning of the material. You can this type of half shape can be produced by uh, rolling operation, and these are actually transverse rolling process. So using circular edge rolls, heated bar is up to full length and fit in transverse between the rolls. And this is actually section roll. So according to this section, so this is actually V type of section. So depending on the this section, you can get the uh, product on means this type of sectional product you get. So this is also possible by rolling process to make different cross-sectional product in psi type or railway path type or different suppose in this case B type or section. Okay, L type or section is also possible. Okay. So now, just means in all the cases means either two roller or three rollers or four rollers or planetary or even section rollers. So what happen? all the cases there is a involvement of force. So force is required to deform the material. Okay, means that is actually solar force. So this force is required to deform the material, and the geometry change means from a slab to the final product. So there is also a relation between the change of geometry. Means actually the volume of the material are same. So before deformation and after deformation, the volume remains the constant. Okay, so some fundamental concepts of metal forming. Some assumptions are made. These assumptions are required, like the arc of contact between the rolls and the metal is a part of the circle. Means the contact between the roller and the workpiece is actually on a circle. So suppose this is the roller and this is the workpiece. Okay, so this is the workpiece. So after rolling, the material gets in. So this actually this contact between the arc means the roller and the workpiece. This contact is on a circle. Just consider on this point is on a circle. Okay. The coefficient of friction is constant in the theory, but it in reality varies along the arc of the contact. And so, during the calculation of the force, we consider the friction between the contact point, when friction between the contact points. The material contact from here to this portion. This portion actually contacted this portion or this portion. So this the friction actually varies from air to air. Actually, the friction at the so this the material are contact from air to air. So in the air the friction is less compared to air. Okay, here the friction between the workpiece and the rollers are more. Okay, compared to this point, and it varies from along this curvature. Okay, what this is actually reality, but in theory or to calculate the force, consider always the friction is constant. The cross-sectional area normal to the rolling direction is not distorted. The metal is considered to deform plastically during the rolling. So this is also another consideration, as I've said, that we always consider that during the rolling process, the metal is plastically deformed, not in elastically. Because if the material really deformed elastically, then after passing the passing from the roller, the material will uh, uh, come back to its original size. So we consider that the material gets plastically deformed. So that actually this is actually nothing but a permanent deformation. Plastically deformed means the material gets permanently deformed. Those deformed material cannot get back to its original size. Okay. So this is also another consideration. The volume of the metal is constant before and after the rolling. So this is also another consideration that the volume before the deformation and after the deformation are constant. In practical, the volume might decrease a little bit due to the close-up of the process. So, but we consider that the volume before the deformation and after the deformation is constant. Okay. The velocity of the rolls is assumed to be constant. And so, sometimes the velocity may be increased or decreased, but we consider that always the constant velocity of the rollers, so means RPM of the rollers is constant. The metal only extends in the rolling direction and no extension in the width of the material. Okay, so that means the material only stays along the length of the material. So suppose suppose this is the slab material. So we consider that the metal only elongate, means metal will elongate along this length, along this length. Okay, and after elongation, material will elongate and get thin. Means the thickness also reduced. This is the thickness. So thickness also get reduced. But we consider that the weight of the material remains unchanged. Means the W remains unchanged. Before and after the rolling operation, we consider always that the weight of the material remains unchanged. Okay. Now some fundamental concept of metal rolling. So a metal sheet. So this is just suppose this is the H naught means the height of the material. This is H0 original height. This is the velocity means initial velocity of the this material means before entering into the roller, and after passing means after deformation the velocity is VR and height is HR. Okay, means after rolling. So the metal sheet with the thickness is H naught means original thickness is H naught. Enters the rolls at the entrance plane. This is the entrance plane means where the material starts. This is called the entrance plane XX, and this is actually called the outer means exit plane. So this entire plane where the velocity is V naught, and after passing means here YY plane means after passing at the passing exit point the velocity is VR and it is HR. So, so from the geometrical consideration means the volume before entering before the deformation or after the deformation. Uh, so before the deformation, the volume is H naught into V naught into B. So B actually the thickness means sorry width of the material. So width, height, and velocity at this point at that point equal to this is actually the volume will be same after the deformation means at final. Okay. So v is the width of the sheet, v is the velocity at any thickness, and h is the intermediate between means at this point. Suppose intermediate point. So at intermediate point, the b into h into b means width into height into velocity c at three different sections means at the entering and at an intermediate and at the exit point will be same. Okay. So from this relationship, uh, here always b equal to b naught and bf always means width are same. Okay, and we consider that there is no reduction in width or no extent of width in width. So all the b's will be cancelled out. So this b will be cancelled out, and from this relationship, we will get h naught into l divided by t. This is actually velocity means length means how much length will pass at unit time per unit time. So this is actually velocity. Velocity at enters is nothing but how much length is passing per unit time, and at exit the length how much length is passing at the per unit time per same unit time at t airport same. So means these L naught and LF are different because the inlet velocity and outlet velocity are different, but T are considered the time are same per unit per time. So what will get H naught into L naught divided by equal to HF into LF. Okay, and or you can also write uh, velocity at the ratio of the velocity uh, and so entrance velocity and the final velocity of the material will be same, means this ratio will be same with the ratio of the height reduction, okay, with respect to the original height. Okay, now another is forces in rolling. So two type, the one is radial force and tangential friction force. So these forces, the calculation of these forces will discuss in the next class. I think the time is over. So in the next class, we will discuss how we will calculate the radial force or tangential force during the rolling process. And even we will uh, we can do experiment in rolling process, and we can measure the process required to roll, and we can make a small project on the process required to rolling for different rolling means by varying the material, varying the temperature condition. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss how we will calculate the forces in rolling, and we will also do some experiment means through virtual laboratory we can do one or two experiment. I will just give a training that how can you take one or two experiments, how you can experiment, and after the giving the training I will give you some uh, project. So that for different condition, how can you calculate rolling forces, or even you can make a comparison starting. Okay. So these are the linkages, the NPTEL video link. So just go to this link, you can get the details in the rolling operation, about the rolling operation and calculation of forces. Okay, how the force can be calculated.
हेलो
Yes,
सर, टाइम हो गया सर.
thank you.
थैंक यू सर.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any query?
सर अब अगली क्लास में पूछ लेंगे सर. नेक्स्ट क्लास जब होगी तब पूछ लेंगे सर क्वेरीज.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, thank
ओके
you.
सर, थैंक यू.